Hello and goodbye. Can you believe it? I'm Wayne Allyn Root for Personal Liberty, and this is my final column for Personal Liberty. I greatly appreciate all of my friends and fans for my 4 wonderful years here. It's ironic and telling that my final column comes on the eve of New Year's 2016 because 2016 is our last stand. It's the most important year in our country's history. After what Obama has done to damage America, I fear the window is closing fast. I don't believe America can be saved if a Democrat like Hillary or Bernie follows Obama in the White House. Either we take back the White House, repeal and replace Obamacare, stop the madness of climate change and green energy, stop the EPA dead in its tracks, undo all the onerous regulations put into place by Obama, build a wall and secure the border, stop the madness of importing Syrian refugees to America, and dramatically lower taxes, spending, and debt, or America is lost forever. If the GOP doesn't win the White House on November 8th, 2016, the very next day, we need to all be thinking of where to go and what to do to protect our families, our incomes, our assets, and our children's future. It's time for Escape from America. It sounds like the title of a fictional horror film, except this time it's very real. Every friend I have with substantial assets to protect is already making plans to either leave or obtain dual citizenship. The preparations have begun for smart people with the resources. Now, my column today, or in this case, my video today, is about the campaign theme that the GOP presidential candidate must adopt to win the 2016 election. This is the theme that could save our country and our children's future. If Republicans don't use it 24/7, from now until the election, they should be prosecuted for gross negligence. Their only defense would be insanity. I call this theme the Democrats' War on Children. Democrats understand marketing and branding so much better than Republicans. Obama, Hillary, and Bernie always take a page right out of their favorite playbook, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, by declaring a Republican war on women. It's all Hillary talks about. It will most certainly be the theme her campaign is built around for the rest of the year, from now to 2016. Sadly, Republicans are cowards afraid of their own shadow. Democrats trot out the race card and the you hate women card again and again, and the GOP responds by playing on defense and running scared. It's the reason I'm such a big fan of Donald Trump. He doesn't play that game. He isn't afraid of anyone. He doesn't apologize or play on defense. He plays on offense. He's in your face. He tells the truth and lets the chips fall where they may, no matter how offensive or politically incorrect. Donald plays to win. Donald understands that we need to be relentless to make America great again and to make America safe again. It's time for all Republicans to learn from Donald Trump. It's time to fight fire with fire. It's time to throw out all the gentleman's rules, because we're not fighting gentlemen. We're fighting liars and frauds and traitors out to destroy America and steal our children's future. We can't afford to play nice anymore. It's time to put Democrats on the defensive. Democrats understand the marketing and branding power of using emotional hooks like the war on women. Well, two could play at that game. It's time to use an emotional hook of our own. And the difference is this one isn't made up. It's time to point out that the real war is the Democrats' war on children. The war on children starts in the womb. Hillary and her ilk don't hesitate to kill children in the womb. No point in a woman's pregnancy is too extreme. No limit to abortion is acceptable. Not even ripping a child to pieces with partial birth abortion is too extreme for Hillary and Democrats. Not even the harvesting and sale of organs from innocent fetuses by Planned Parenthood is too extreme. And anyone who tries to point out these extreme examples of murder or torture upon innocent children, anyone who champions or defends children who cannot speak for themselves, is immediately slandered and labeled as extreme or an enemy of women. Now, well-meaning people can have legitimate disagreements whether or not life begins at the moment of contraception. I agree. It's a debate. But surely only radical extremists would argue that after 5 months or more, a fully formed fetus with a beating heart is not a child. Surely only radical extremists would defend the harvesting of organs from dead babies for profit. But this is only the start of Hillary and the Democrats' disgusting, disgraceful war on children. The children who survive are then consigned to government schools where they're kept marginally ignorant, taught to always obey authority and show loyalty to government, and taught it's okay to be dependent upon government. The brainwashing begins young, starting with free breakfast and lunch provided by government. Parents no longer take care of the most basic of responsibilities feeding their children. Can you imagine moms and dads are no longer capable of making breakfast for their kids? Government schools teach kids to expect breakfast, lunch, and now even a backpack filled with food to take home at night or for the weekend. Big Brother now provides your meals, not mom or dad. These same government schools have outlawed being a boy, labeling the actual signs of masculinity as attention deficit disorder and drugging boys because they act like boys with lots of energy. Not to mention, the more boys they count as disabled, the more the school gets from the federal government. These same government schools teach our children to be sheep. They are discouraged from thinking for themselves. They're taught competition in all forms, but especially in business and the workplace, is bad, and children are rewarded with a trophy for simply showing up. What does this lead to? A future taking orders from a manager at a fast food restaurant, or a future sitting home watching cartoons and Jerry Springer while waiting for a welfare check in the mail. But of course, this makes sense, because this is how you create future, loyal, dependent, desperate Democratic voters. Perhaps worst of all is that for many years now, our schools have been keeping America's school children ignorant about basic economics. Our children are never taught in school, and the mainstream media keeps it well hidden too, the numbers 164,000 and 8,200. 164,000 is the current federal debt each American family of four owes, and 8,200 is the amount at 5% interest you're paying on that debt each and every year. No one teaches our children that this debt will destroy their future, rip their hopes and dreams to shreds. No one teaches our children why the debt keeps growing to keep progressive politicians in office for life and line the pockets of the political class. This government spending and debt machine is at the heart of the Democrats' war on children, and the day of reckoning is fast approaching. If you have any doubt about a day of reckoning and what it might look like, all you need to do is look at Greece. That bankrupt, broken country proves that debt is a poison, a dream killer, the death of a nation, and the death of your children's future. But we can look closer to home to see even more proof. Just study Detroit, a city under 100% Democratic control for well over 50 years. The last Republican mayor of Detroit left office in 1962, ruled for half a century by the same policies and agenda of Obama, Hillary, and Bernie. Detroit's a bankrupt, broken cesspool of murder, violence, crushing poverty, broken streetlights, abandoned buildings, and taxes so high, anyone with assets or resources has left. Greece and Detroit prove that the Democrats' war on children is real. So setting aside abortion, you mean a place where children can't walk the streets without risking shootings, rape, or murder is not a war on children? You mean a place where children are almost guaranteed to never get a solid education, never find a decent job, rely on food stamps and welfare for life isn't a war on children? You mean a place where almost no child has a father in the home isn't a war on children? You mean a place where your environment is abandoned buildings, broken street lamps, and drug dealers owning the streets and owning the night isn't a war on children? You mean a place where a child is more likely to wind up in prison than college isn't a war on children? Again, let me stress, only Democrats and their policies and progressive agenda have created this brutal environment in places like Detroit and Chicago. Only Democrats like Obama, Hillary, and Bernie have been in power and control of Detroit since 1962. And don't forget, the party that ran Greece into the ground has a name. It's called the Socialist Party. It's always liberals, leftists, progressives, and socialists who lead a war against children. So let's stop talking about a fake, made-up war on women. It's only meant to distract you from the truth. The GOP must start talking about the real war, Hillary Clinton and the Democrats' war on children. Now, I'm Wayne Allyn Root for Personal Liberty. This is my last and final column, or in this case, last and final video. I want to thank you all for reading and commenting on my columns for 4 wonderful years. I hope you'll continue to watch my videos and read my columns at my personal website, rootforamerica.com, because that's what my life is dedicated to. I spend every day, every hour, every minute, every second rooting for America. I'm Wayne Allyn Root. God bless you. God bless America. And Happy New Year, 2016, the year we take back our great country. God bless. Bye-bye.